Morning, my name's Dave. Channel's TXW5CSM. Going to do a video today on how to true mount or properly mount. There's several different definitions of it out there. How to mount a rifle scope. So, things that you'll need for that. First, show you that the chamber is in fact empty. In fact, there's the bolt. So, first couple things you're going to need is a rifle, a scope, and a mount of some type. Those are some of the accessories that come with it. Covers. That is a primary arms 30mm red dot sight. You're going to also need some thread locker, some type of Loctite, those types of items. For a torque wrench, I have selected the Firearm Accurizing Torque Wrench, the Fat Wrench, which is made by Wheeler. This was suggested to me by a gentleman at the range, and I absolutely love it. Easy to use, totally accurate. So I'm going to throw this back into the tripod mount here, now that we understand what we're dealing with. Oh, and down at the far end of the hallway, we have a confirmed vertical and horizontal mark on the wall. In case you didn't see, the level that I have on the top quad rail of the rifle showed that everything was level. I've confirmed that the vertical and horizontals down at the far end of the hallway are also level. So the table needs to be level, the vise needs to be level. The lower receiver block mounted into the rifle needs to be level being vertical or horizontal perfectly. Put the lower receiver into the block with the rifle. You double check the vise. You make sure that the top quad rail is horizontal, which then therefore means that the entire rifle is vertical. You're going to eyeball the sight itself. So you've got the adjusters on the top and adjusters on the side. And what you're going to do is try to make sure that your vertical is as vertical as you can get it, and your horizontal is as horizontal as you can get it with your eyeballs. So again, make sure the rifle's clear, make sure it's pointed in a safe direction, and then just step away, look down through the scope, and make sure that things are as vertical and horizontal as you can. Then select a place. I've just selected a short hallway. The longer you go, the better, the more accurate this test is. And you place a verified vertical and horizontal true down at the end. What this does is allows you to move the reticle, in this case a red dot, up and down that contrasting color to make sure that when you have it mounted, that when you do your up and down adjustments when you zero, that they're going to truly go up and down, thus the term truing or true mounting that some will use. So once you're all finished setting things up, I did actually torque the mount screw onto the Picatinny rail, and when you saw the Fat Wrench, you saw this. It comes with a little 1/4" adapter, and of course that's one of my sockets that was set to it. So this is already torqued. The only thing just snugged and not torqued are the 6 bolts on the ring mount on the top. Those are quite loose, so I can still move the scope however I need to make sure that it is as perfectly vertical and horizontal as I can. Then what you will go through, and a penny happens to fit perfectly inside of these adjusters. So this would be your left to right adjustment, and this would be your up and down adjustment. So seeing as you can see the far end reticle, the contrasting green color in the far end of the video, and you can see the scope itself. I'm going to do a zoom in here a little bit so you can actually see the dot relative to the contrasting color at the far end of the hull. So to verify that you are vertical or horizontal, you've double checked the horizontal of your rifle. You have your vertical horizontal downrange. Now this will move a little bit, and I apologize for that, but the gist of it is you start adjusting the screw and it should stay on a very, very similar plane to your known point downrange. Trying to go a half turn at a time. You'll see how the red dot is traveling right along a very similar plane with downrange, which is your known true horizontal. And I apologize for hopping a little bit. Once I let go, you'll see it adjust. But I'm holding it with my hand just to make sure that things don't fall over. And that is back where we started. You can also go the other direction. Now I'm going to go vertical. And you'll notice that minus my hand holding it to try to steady it when I'm actually turning the adjuster, it is staying about perfectly center mass of that contrasting colored tape at the end of the hallway. So I've gotten close enough. Hopefully I won't have to make this gross amount of movements once I get it bore-sighted, which is a different class that hopefully I'll be able to put on here soon. Then the dot ends up right where it started. So I'm pretty much thinking that I'm good with the just eyeballing it, and I've verified what I thought to be true. So bear with me on the camera angle here for just a moment. I'm going to crank things up a little bit so you can see exactly what I'm doing here. So on the, you'll see the fat wrench here in just a minute. One of the hazards of not having a cameraman. So once you have things set, and you verified all of your verticals and your horizontals, you grab the appropriate head for the fat wrench or whatever inch-pound measuring torque wrench you have. Double check and ensure that it's exactly what you want. Snug it with fingers just to make sure that nothing's going to move on you accidentally. Okay, and with the fat wrench, they say to use 20 inch-pounds, which is where that little red indicator is. 20 inch-pounds on this portion of the mount. And then they said 55 to 65 on the lower screw that's actually passed through on the other side. I selected 60 because it's right in the middle. So as you're going to finally mount these screws, I'm going to back this one out. This is where your thread locker comes in. I'm not going to bore you with how to apply thread locker. I do use the blue, okay, because the blue is releasable without the use of heat. You don't want to have to be torching your scopes and things to get it off, so use the blue. It is removable with kinetic force. So that's what it looks like. You will apply it according to the instructions in the lower portion of the screw area, which is right about, get a contrasting color here. There we go. Right about there. You'll drop it into the hole and you will begin to tighten it. Again, this fat wrench will just break loose when I hit the appropriate torque. All the rest of these are only finger tight right now. So what I would do is snug that one. I would then pull this one out, Loctite it. I would then pull this one out, Loctite it. 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 So I now have Loctite on all of them. It takes about 5 minutes for the Loctite to set. Then I would go through and start torquing them in the same manner. And I would just be snugging them. There you go. As it snaps loose, that's torqued. Now I have this one. This one. Okay, and then make sure that you leave it set the amount of time that the appropriate version of thread locker, Loctite, whatever you're using says, and then take it to the range, start your zeroing process. Of course, you have to bore sight it first if you want to save a lot of ammunition, but that'll come in a different video. I appreciate you watching. Hope you learned something. Put comments below if you would like to. If you have a different method, hang your link there and we can all share information. Thanks.